Welcome back to Next Level Rides. In today's episode, we're here again with Zach, and he's brought us this F30, 330, 340 BMW. So stay tuned and I'll show you what we're doing on it today. So in today's episode, we need to give a little bit more power to the vehicle. So what we're gonna be installing is this VRSF downpipe. Now, of course, this big boy is, I believe it's a 5-inch and has a nice flex joint. But the nice part is, with a pipe and a tune, the vehicle's gonna gain a lot of power. So, plan of attack, install this, download a tune, make 520 to the motor, 520 roughly. The car itself is pretty stock. There's not a whole lot done to it other than, I think it had the MMSPK, what do they call it? Performance 1 and 2 or whatever? Yeah. It has the MMSPK Performance 1 and 2 pack. Essentially what you're getting is more aggressive tune. You're gonna get higher flowing exhaust, so the M Performance exhaust system. And other than that, I think for the most part, it's aesthetics. So you get the front lip, the side skirts, deckling. It looks like it has the, it's all blacked out with blue. Yeah, for the most part, it only gets you a little bit of power. But of course, 360 isn't enough. So with a piece of pipe and a tune, we're gonna add about 150 horsepower to the vehicle. And of course, because everybody likes the exhaust clips, we're gonna give you before and after with the M Performance exhaust, and then with the VRSF downpipe.
So here's a couple revs in comfort. And then here's Sport Plus.
Of course, that's the before noises, and we're definitely going to show you the after noises, which I think are going to be much, much better. For the most part, I think M Performance is basically a non-baffled, non-resonated muffler. It does sound good. I think the intake noises are actually much better. Yeah. They sound way, way, way better. Of course, it's not a 330, it has a fantastic B58. All you N54 and N55 owners, eat your heart out. This is what power actually is. Oh yeah, I'm building an N54.
And I have one.
Oh. F us, right?
F us.
Editor, just take that out. I'll give you a bit of a recap. So we ended up installing the aftermarket BMS intake. Afterwards, they installed the silicone piece, which gets rid of the little resonator box just up top. The induction noise is quite a bit louder. Unfortunately, they've cleaned the engine bay a bit. Now, unlike N54 and N55s, or in the conventional sense, the charge pipe being plastic on these isn't an issue because it's not going from an intercooler to the charge pipe where it's flexing all the time. This is rigid. It goes straight from the turbo to the charge pipe, so there's no flex and there's no risk of that breaking, at least for MHD Stage 2, whatever you're gonna end up running. Leave it. You just need to do the bare minimum. Intake for noise, maybe 10 horse, downpipe, email, let her eat. We're gonna get started. In order to get access to the stock bolt on the V-bend for the downpipe, we're just gonna remove the air box. It's not really a big deal or in the way, and it's only a couple of bolts. So one clip, one bolt, one Phillips, or a 6mm. We're gonna take this out, we're gonna put a rag inside the inlet. We're gonna pull the bottom portion of the plastic off. Past that, up top, what we're gonna try to do is hit both of these connectors. So we're gonna take both of these off to pick it out of the little spring clips. I don't know if you can see right through there. That one there. We're gonna take those out from the top. What I like to do, because there's a bracket that's actually holding the downpipe on, I'll show you on the aftermarket one here. It's this one here. So you wanna get these two bolts. It's easiest from the top because on the factory one, the downpipe, including the cat, it's massive. I think it's a 7 or a 7.5 inch round barrel essentially. On top of all else, This is the factory gasket. So what I'm going to show you, now these like to flatten out pretty good and they get really flaky. So you're going to get a pick, you're going to pick this out. But I highly, highly, highly recommend changing these each and every time. I think they're 40 bucks at BMW, but 40 bucks is a lot better than having to go in and spend more hours of your time. Holy, look at that stripper glitter. We got all this stuff out. Now don't be too shocked when the little connector tabs break on these. This one was all right, but this one ended up breaking. Go figure. It's kind of like a locking tab, so it doesn't do a whole lot. It'll still click together. But this retainer tab, the second you apply pressure, if you haven't ever taken them out, they just break. So the V-band's on the downpipe. Now there is a bolt head on the back here. I have to double check exactly how the V-band ends up being oriented, but it feels like it's facing the wrong way. So I'm hoping this is going to at least release it. I could have sworn on the 540 it wasn't the case, but I guess we're gonna find out pretty quick here. Yeah, this one's a 13 mil. Now you gotta be a little bit nice with it, only because these strip unbelievably easy. So that one should be loose enough for now. Way down there, you're not gonna be able to see them, but there's two either 12 or 13 mils holding the downpipe to the motor. Actually, you can kind of see it. See right there. So reach in from the top, loosen those two nuts, and then the downpipe's gonna be pretty easy to come out. Yeah, feels like a 13. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a 13. Oh, the downpipe's still hot. I can smell where I'm accidentally touching the downpipe with the gloves, and it's burning. Now we're gonna lift it up on the slow jacks so I can reach the V-band slip connector at the bottom. And once that's out of the way, we should be able to loosen it and wiggle it out. The only thing I see is this weird little oil leak here. I'm not sure what it's about, but it's on the under tray. Can't see where it's from. I'll take the under trays off and see if it gives me more room. So for those gentlemen and ladies at home that are watching, we found a bit of an oil leak. I don't know if it's gonna show up on the camera. So right here you can see there's a bunch of oil. Of course it's drained all the way down to here, all the way down to here. So it looks like it's coming from this little axle extension piece. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give it a little bit of snug to see if maybe that's what's leaking. And other than that, just monitor it, because other than ripping it apart, it'd be a little bit hard to diagnose exactly what this issue is.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that it's just like an axle seal. Well, that bolt was a little bit loose. And with that, we're gonna continue on the downpipe. So I'm gonna show you guys kind of what we're working with. Of course, the engine mount's kind of in its way, or in our way there. Other than that, you have the downpipe. You're gonna have the bolt here. I believe that's a 13 mil. Also here is a 13 mil. And what you may need to do is down back here, I believe there's a bracket so that this piece of exhaust actually lowers a little bit. Other than that, we're just gonna be pulling this out. We've already disconnected everything from up top there. And yeah, it's really not the end of the world. Like, people make it look like, oh yeah, downpipe's super easy, but they don't realize we live in Canada.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know?
They make it look easy over there when everything's all perfect and nothing's rough.
Yeah, in Florida where cars are beautiful. Some more WD-40 and more shock. If you have issue getting the downpipe out, what you can do is you can take this brace off, and taking this brace off will allow the exhaust to drop a little bit lower, and it'll pull right out of the downpipe. Gives you a bunch more room, and it's just 4 bolts with the T50. But now, the whole exhaust is down, so I can fight it down here and rotate it. There. Here's the downpipe.
Whew, big money right here. There's a catalytic converter material.
What we're going to do is we're going to transfer the O2 sensors, put a little bit of anti-seize on those, and then make sure that the exhaust mates up really nice. So here we're going to give a little bit of a scuff down, and same for the inside of the M Performance exhaust. That way when you go to clamp it, you're less likely to have exhaust leaks. Yeah, so what you do is you take some Permatex red, orange, copper gasket maker and some red Loctite, and you fill it, and when you go to install it, it'll never leak. But if you're smart, you'll use a genuine BMW exhaust gasket. Should we? Mm-hmm. We'll use this one. So for those of you that need the part number, I'll leave that there. Similar to an N54 or an N55, this is one of those really flaky gaskets. So there's no right or wrong on installing these other than just be gentle. It'll pop in, don't force it, you don't want it to flake or chunk off. So when you have it sitting reasonably in there, just keep working it around back and forward. And then what I'm gonna do is I'll show you, whereas it was flat prior, this from an angle, you can see there's a bit of a ridge. So that's what's gonna mate to the back of the turbo, and that's what's actually gonna seal. So clean this up. Doesn't have to be anything super crazy. You're just getting the contaminants and grit off of here that would keep it from sealing. And I'm gonna take that underneath to clean. So the plan is you hook this on the 2-bolt flange that has the tab. Once that's hooked on, you can work up the V-band. And actually, where's the V-band? You said you knocked it off?
It actually dropped with the downpipe when you took it off. So it's on the bottom.
Okay, here, you can hold this. I'll get the V-band. So the trick with this is the V-band, or at least the nut on the one side, it sits just inside these ears here. So if you over torque it, what happens is that nut starts to spin and it ends up causing a lot of headaches. I ended up having the same issue that happened on my 540. I had the issue on the 540 where it ended up spinning, and I had to reach in there blind with an angle grinder, or die grinder, whatever, a Dremel. And I had to cut the head of the nut off so it would let go. When you go to tighten it back, try to make it at least sit vertical or a hair to the side. So if you do end up having issues, what you can do is you can reach in and just cut the bolt. Once it's installed, that's pretty well it. The biggest and most important thing is when you go to angle this, make sure that it doesn't get anywhere near the electric wastegate actuator rod, because, I mean, for obvious reasons, that'll give you problems. Along with this, we're gonna put a bunch of anti-seize on the threads. We're gonna run it in and out a couple of times so that it's well lubricated and that it doesn't have a chance to seize. There you go. So when it's giving you enough room, what you'll be able to do is when it gets closer to the turbo, you can just open it up just a hair, and this will actually click on the turbo side. Can you reach all the way around this flange and make sure it's tight on all 4 sides, or all around the diameter?
Yeah, the bottom feels good. Top side here is good.
Here, I'm gonna hold the nut. Do you wanna start tightening the 13 by finger?
Yeah.
Yeah, just until there's tension. Yep. She is mint. I'm gonna see if I can sneak this up here for these 2 13s on the bracket. Don't forget the stiffening bar here. And for this V-band, just wiggle it up and over. Give it maybe a couple of mil before the edge of the exhaust. Get your Milwaukee and send it home. Now I like to tighten these by hand. I've had these bottom ones leak a little bit. Nothing super crazy, but I don't feel like having a leak. That one's tight. We're gonna check the two here. The V-band right up top. And we're gonna start it, let it come off cold idle, start thing, and then check for leaks. Now these are tightened very loose, surprisingly. So I'm not gonna do anything crazy. I think these are 8 or 18 Newton meters.
Oh, that's super low.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get it just under spark plug tight. If it leaks, we snug it more. That's all there is to it. But you wanna make sure that the top one is snugged before anything, simply because that one is gonna pull the flange flat for you. And for up here, we made a mark. So a yellow paint pen, push it together. You'll actually hear it click. And then this is the stupid safety retainer garbage bolt. And then the same for the rear one. Except I think this one decided to say, hey, see ya, getting the hell out of here.
Pretty much.
So what we're gonna do off camera is we're gonna flash it with just an MHD, probably a Stage 2, but the flex fuel map, just because he has 91 in there right now. We're gonna flash the 91 map. We're gonna give it a quick heat cycle and make sure there's no leaks. If there are any leaks, we'll be able to at least snug them down. And if you guys wanna see more of this car, let me know. We can always do a review come summertime. It doesn't have a whole lot, but it doesn't need a whole lot because it's a good car as is. We're gonna snug it all down, double check my work, and give you some noises. Okay, when you're ready.
Yeah.
It's gonna be loud. That's just the cold start. We're gonna get rid of the cold start. It sounds a lot better, I promise. There it is.
I heard it.
Yeah, a couple of revs.
That sounds really good.
Holy shit. Okay, I'm gonna go underneath.
Okay, do you want me to leave it on?
Yeah, leave it on. I'm gonna double check for any leaks. Give it some small little revs. I'm gonna double check up top here. All right, couple revs. Good. Shut it off. Whoo boy, those factory burbles. They were pretty loud.
Yeah, I didn't even change the burbles when I flashed it. I left it on factory.
Damn. Wait, you flashed it already?
Yeah, Stage 1 like 2 days ago.
Oh, so it has MHD.
It has MHD, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll flash it to Stage 2.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So that it gets rid of the check engine light. And I'll just go over the settings to make sure it's optimized. We're gonna throw the skid plate and everything on, and that's it. Flash it to MHD Stage 2 multi-map. I think that's the one for 91 octane, and go from there. So, as always, feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Hell yeah.
What?
It was loose.
No, it wasn't.
It was loose. Look at that. It was loose.
I don't know.
Dude.
You know why? It's because I knew you were going to take it off again today. That's why.
Yeah.
Feels pretty loose now.
Oh, did it fall apart? But yeah, it's loose.
Yeah.
Okay, I just need that 13 mil.
Is it not down there?
No, I gave it to you. That's what you were using.
Oh, I dropped that whole thing.
The ratchet?
Oh yeah, it's right here.
Oh, he's trying to drop it on my face.
I thought it did.
Oh, thanks. This would be a perfect time to do the ASMR. BMW. Oh, that worked. So I was joking with that BMW ASMR shit, and then I just started to punch it, and it worked. Where's the nut?
I don't know, it's either still in there or it fell altogether. I couldn't see it, it was on the other side.
Where's Taylor? Can Taylor help?